Hi everyone. Today we are talking about the content mistakes that keep you in the friend zone and what to do instead so people see you as the authority they want to hire. And no, that's not about manipulating people and perception, okay? Because perception is actually a big part of things, like everything, but it's not about manipulating people to be seen as an authority. I'm going to explain this very well to you and very simply to you today. Hi, I'm Gwen, by the way, the strategy queen. I help coaches and experts build evergreen sales funnel, launch strategies, advanced sales system that brings in consistent income with you sharing some content, but also with you not sharing any content. So you make money, whatever you are doing. And today we're talking about the content mistakes that keep you in the friend zone and how to move into the role of authority. So people not only love your content, but they trust you enough to hire you, because that's the point of having a business, making sales and having an impact on people. A lot of people are creating content that gets some comments, some likes, some DMs, and maybe that's it. Like you also feel like, yes, you're getting some engagement, nothing crazy, but honestly, like, you don't need to have a crazy engagement to make millions. And you have proof of this like everywhere, like depending on who you follow on social media, you can see that you don't need crazy engagement to actually make money. I had so many one-to-one clients that came to me having massive engagement and they were making no sales. Okay, so no shaming in here, but know that it's possible to be on both sides here, having tons of engagement, making no sales, or making tons of sales and having no engagement. And what I see probably is that people, they love your content, especially when you are sharing stories, when you're sharing stuff about yourself, when you're sharing things in context, like they love it. But when it comes to working with you, maybe you're not the top of mind for absolutely everything. And that's being in the friend zone. Like they enjoy being around you, but they're not seeing you as the one who can solve their problem, the one that they need to work with. Getting out of the friend zone, it starts with one decision. Okay. It does start with one decision. And I think sometimes it's hard to hear because yes, you are one decision away, the decision to show up as an authority. And I'm sorry to say this, I'm saying this with so much love. But if you are not being taken seriously, if you're not being seen as an authority, is because you are not showing up as an authority. If you have been around for a while, like in my world for a while, you know that for me, radical authority, radical responsibility, sorry, is like so important. And at one point, we have to stop pointing the finger at the algorithm, at other people, and see that if people don't see you as an authority, is because you are not showing up as an authority. Yeah, very, very simple. And it's not just about what what is in your brain. You can be super good at everything that you're doing and not be seen as an authority. It's about also how you present your knowledge, like how do you talk about the things that you know. It's also about who you're speaking to and the signals you're sending and everything from your messaging to your visuals. And this is going to build I wanted to say like a universe, like a world around everything that you're doing that is going to signal authority. I know what I'm talking about. Pay attention. Pay attention. So here the first thing that I wanted to talk with you about, like regarding the content, is I'm going to give you like 3 to 5 points on exactly how to do this, how to get out of the friend zone. So the first thing is going to decide that you are the one, okay? Because authority isn't something that people are going to give you. It's not like, oh, here is a certificate, you are the authority. You have to claim it. Yes, you have to claim it. I am the authority in XYZ. I am the one to hire for this. I am known for this. It always starts with identity work. By the way, like if you haven't signed up for becoming the one, which is like going to be an offer for 1 week, all about this, building authority, becoming the one, becoming the obvious choice for all of your people in your audience. and definitely going out of the friend zone here, like you have to sign up to this, because I'm going to do with the woman inside very deep identity work that is going to completely change the way that they show up, because it is linked on how you show up. How you show up is linked to your identity and who you believe you are. So we're going to talk a lot about that, and not just talking, but actually do exercises on helping you with this, things that have completely changed my clients, by the way, and how they show up. So remember, with this first point, it is a decision. Okay, you have to decide that you are the one. And if you're like, oh, like, okay, oh, I decide, it's not as just like, oh, I decide, whatever, no, like you have to deeply believe it, deeply inside. Yes, you believe, and you decide that you are the one. People need to feel your confidence before they are going to invest in you. If you don't believe you are the best person out there to invest in, same with your offers, you don't believe your offers are the best out there, how do you think like other people are going to think about your offers and yourself? The second point that I wanted to mention in here on like how to get out of the friend zone is going to be to speak to more than one type of buyer. And I feel like a lot of people out there are getting very comfortable into their own buyer type. And so a lot of women who are very analytic, let's say, are going to create a lot of content for analytical people, which is going to like really go into helping them see like some sort of like, this is the structure of my program, this is what is inside, but they don't talk to all of the buyer types. And I think like this is something that actually friends on you, because it doesn't show range, it doesn't show like all of the things that you can do. And talking to different people, like you're always talking to the same person, and your messaging and your content probably feel also very repetitive. And this is something, by the way, that I have, it's not simple as like snap your fingers and then you are talking to all of the buyer types. I actually spent so last week inside the funnel mini mind, which is a 5 weeks mini mind that I'm running, like where they're building their funnel with me, all the amazing 14 women who are building their funnels with me, like we were talking about messaging. I did a 2-hour call just covering messaging in funnels, which is the same as in content, like what we talked also about content. But also we spent like almost an hour on this, like the different buyer type and how to talk to them in your content, in your emails, in your sales page. Like how do you talk to all of them? Because this is something that's definitely going to pull you out of the friend zone, because it shows range, and because people want to hire a leader, someone that can take them on with like all their needs of like knowing what is inside the program, but also like so many of the different aspects. I don't want to go all over it, because it's going to take so long. But you get my point. You have to find range here. Okay. And that's something that's very important. That's something that I speak a lot with my client, inside the funnel mini mind, and of course inside Elevate Mastermind. Because you do, if you want to make a lot of sales, you do need to speak to all of the buyer types, because that is going to help them make fast and independent decision, which is what you want. Okay. You want people to come onto your content and buy immediately from you, because they see you as an authority, but also because in your content, as soon as they see you as an authority, they also have all of the answers, yeah, without needing a sales call from you. Another thing that I wanted to talk about around building like this authority, but just like being out of the friend zone, is honestly the aesthetic of it. And I'm sorry, because I know, okay, I know so many people, and even some of my mentors are like, aesthetic doesn't matter, okay? And I disagree. Aesthetic do matter. I see some reels of some amazing women who are like so fucking good at what they're doing, filming themselves from underneath with the most terrible lighting, or like having the most horrible environment, or like you can see that they just like not feeling confident in where they are and how they're like recording, let's say, their content or the images that they're using. And I think like this is definitely positioning you as a friend. And one of the thing is not about being polished, by the way. So you see, like my brand is, it is quite polished. Yeah, it is quite polished. Like, well, I'm French. I love good clothes. I love having nice nails and, like some stuff like that. But I mean, I was not always like this. And I had different branding in the past with different businesses that also worked very well, that were messy, that were like not messy, but like that were a lot different, not polished at all. And I don't think you need to be polished, but think you need to elevate your aesthetic, like how things are looking, especially to be more cohesive, to have more like of a brand image. And showing up in your gym clothes, by the way, like, and if this is your style, like this can be part of your brand. Yeah. Part of your brand can also be to be very polished. And then sometimes you're in your gym clothes and what you do is actually showing like the duality of both. And maybe, I don't know, you're a fitness coach and you show both. And I don't know, you have a very corporate job and you show both words. Like there's so many ways of doing your branding, but you do need to elevate it. You need to have good lighting. You need to also think about it. And it doesn't mean that, oh my God, I cannot turn on my camera to film a reel now because I'm not wearing a top that is the color of my brand or like whatever. This is not at all what I mean. Okay. But what I mean is to not treat your business as a hobby. If you don't want your business to be a hobby and make like a few pennies here and there, and you want this to be like your wealth generating business, there is nothing casual about that. Okay. There is nothing casual. And it doesn't mean, again, that you can't wear casual clothes, but you need to be intentional. You need to be intentional. It doesn't mean overthink it. Yeah. It means here that your visual brand matters. It doesn't mean that you transform yourself into a control freak. I have not said that. Okay. But you have to think of it like a store. And so the way it looks, of course, shapes how much I'm going to be willing to spend in it. When I go into Lidl, which is like a shop in France that is very cheap, where you can buy almost everything, or if I step into Chanel, of course, like I'm not expecting already the same price. I'm not expecting the same quality, and I can see right away from the get-go what I'm going to get. Yeah. And so you have to decide, do I want to be Lidl, Kmart, uh, however you call that in your country, like this type of shop, or do I want to be Chanel? Do I want to be, who do I want to be, with my branding? And that doesn't mean, again, like all the time linked to polished. And that's something like, of course, that we work more inside Elevate Mastermind on, like the nuance of it, because it is not as straightforward also to find what is really like lighting you up. But you do need some sort of branding, elevating the aesthetic of it. So like when we look at it, it looks professional. You look already like an authority. Looking like an authority can look completely different depending on the business, obviously, that you're doing. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is and that's quite linked with this, is like to stop over prioritizing relatability. Being relatable, it's cool, like, and I think it is important to be relatable in some aspect to connect. But I want you to know that you don't always have to be relatable to the version that they are now. But yes, you want to be relatable to the version, the identity that they want to have. So let's say right now I'm building a new house. Yeah, I'm building this amazing 4-bedroom villa, infinity pool, overlooking the ocean. It's wonderful. Yeah, it is wonderful. When I share about this in my content, it is most probably not relatable to my ideal client. My ideal client might not be building a 4-bedroom villa that costs 3 arms facing the ocean, no, looking at the waves, blah blah blah, having everything designed by individuals and designers. No, no, it's not relatable. And I'm not, when I'm trying to share this, when I'm sharing this, I'm not trying. When I'm sharing this with you in my content, in my stories, I am not trying to be relatable. Yeah, but it's still a connection. It's still a connection because maybe you want to build also your own house. Maybe, like me, you want to design absolutely everything that is going to be inside your house, the shape of every single windows or chairs and stuff. Maybe you're obsessed like me with this. Relatable can be on different things. For example, if I share my yoga practice in my stories, that I was doing yoga, maybe I share like a little clip of it, or me doing now like kriya or like something, drop bags or handstand or whatever. I have been practicing yoga for a couple of decades, so of course I have an advanced practice. If I'm sharing something like this, I can be relatable, for example, in the fact that I have a spiritual practice, I'm someone spiritual, I have a movement practice, but maybe like the drop backs, let's say me dropping backs, me coming to a handstand, it's not relatable. Maybe they're not doing it. So you see, like the idea is not to be 100% relatable on like matching where they are at. And so that's why I will not prioritize again and again relatability, but maybe some points of connection. Okay. And that's why like there is a difference between being relatable, because when you're a lot relatable, you can easily go into the friend zone, and sharing my values, sharing that stuff with my family that I'm doing. It's not to be relatable, but it's to say that I am prioritizing my family. So I'm not trying to be relatable. I'm a mom, you're a mom, like that's fine, that's nice. But like, you're not going to hire me for this. You're going to hire me because you're a mom, I'm a mom, but I only work 4 days a week and I spend hours every day playing with my boy because I want to do so. And I have the time and the space to do it. You are going to hire me because of this, because this is something that you want to. So you want to think about your own business and hear like, what do I do that is something like they want to do, that is relatable, but not in the cute way. Okay. And of course, like, share about your life, share about your personality, share the person who is behind the screen, share this, but don't prioritize relatability. Prioritize values, yes, and prioritize, and that's going to be my last point actually, prioritize creating content as an industry leader, okay? Shock people, move them with what you say, with what you share. Be real, be raw, and show really the why. Why are you doing things in a certain way? Especially if you're talking to all the biotype, like some of them really need that. They will need to understand why you are doing things a certain way. Why should people follow you? And this is like such a good discussion on like why people should follow you. Because behind this, we have what do you want to be known for? Okay. But we also have like really asking ourselves this question of why should people follow me? And think about this, because what I see from my side of the screen, from a lot of people that I'm following, is that they want to be seen as a leader, but they act as a sheep. And I don't think you want to be a sheep, do you? If you want to be hired as a leader, you want people to also see that you are not a sheep. Which, if you are not a sheep behind the screen, like in your house, in your home, like what you're doing, if you're not a sheep, why are you posting content like if you are? And a way to understand, am I being a sheep here, is like, are you doing the same as everyone else? Because leaders, they're not sheep, No. And one way to stop being a sheep, by the way, is to stop looking at everyone content. Yeah, it's cool, like look at some content sometimes, but like first don't look at people content for inspiration, because you end up creating the same shit as everyone. I didn't say ship, I say sheep, I say shit. English language, but like losing myself over here. So like what I want you to remember is like, what is the energy of a leader? When was the time that I felt like a leader? What was happening? How did I show up? This is going to be so important. When you are ready to step out of the friend zone and you're ready to become the one, People think first, like, oh my God, I need to create a funnel. I'm going to ask Gwen. Yeah. I want to have a 100K launch strategy with affiliates that have me and make sales behind the scene on all of my offers while I sell it. I'm going to hire Gwen. Like, I have positioned myself in this way. And this is also what I'm going to share with you inside Becoming the One, and how I did this multiple times in my business. Like, you want to think about this. When you want this, you have to come inside Becoming the One. Okay. It's a 1 week experience, like an entire week from Friday to Friday. We'll be together where I'm going to teach you exactly how to position yourself as the woman everyone wants to hire. And they know what to hire you for without following little trends, dancing on video. If you want to dance on video, please do it. I'm a very bad dancer. I haven't stepped into this yet. And will I ever, after 5 years on social media? If I didn't, I may never. Who knows? Never say never. But like, the idea is not for you to be a sheep. It's not for you to like see, oh, this person is doing this, she has great result, let me do the same. No, please, God, do the opposite. It is also on positioning yourself, yes, for the person that everyone wants to hire, without pretending to be someone you're not. And this is very important. Without being polished if you're not polished. Without being whatever if you're not this whatever. And without blending with everyone. How do you stand out without trying to stand out? My God, this is a good question. We're going to talk about that starting on August 22nd. At the moment, it's still on pre-sale, so it's still only $22 to join for the 1 week with me in Becoming the One. The links will be there, like in the show notes, so have a look at that. And really understanding that this is even like the start of a work, the start of working towards being known. This can be done very fast. Okay, when I have taken the decision, because it's a decision of being known for my funnels, in 3 weeks, in the space of 3 weeks, I sold out all of my one-to-one spots. And then I had 14 women, I think it was probably in the 3 weeks, or maybe a little bit more, like inside the funnel mini mind, sold out my workshop twice, funnel people into different offers because I made a decision. And so I want to share with you this process, but not just like, look at me, this is how I do it. So it's so simple, just do the same. No, I'm going to, because I have done this process multiple times and I have helped multiple women inside Elevate Mastermind and my different containers, help them with this. Because it's not about changing your entire business. I don't want you to think like, oh my God, I have to change completely what I'm doing. No, it is about showing your people what you are evolving into. Like, I haven't changed my entire business. Okay. I have taught funnels for many years already, but I have changed how people see me. And so I'm going to talk with you about this. And honestly, for $22, I don't even see how it's possible to not be in. This is also included inside my mastermind, Elevate. So when you join Elevate Mastermind, and this is for you if you are an industry leader, like you want to step into the identity of being an industry leader who has offers, messaging, backend system with launching, but also funnels that make sales every single month. Like, this is what you want to become. All of this, like all of these offers, Becoming the One, the funnel minimum that I talked about, everything that I do is included when you join Elevate, my 6 months mastermind for industry leader. If you have any question, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. If you have any question about Elevate for Becoming the One, I'm going to simply send you the link that is going to be right there. I hope you had the most amazing training, really understanding how not to position yourself in the friend zone and go out of it. Bye, everyone.